Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us today on Polywine, where we like to take a deep dive into stories pulled from the media and have a fun time while breaking it down. I'm Jillian, and let's get into it. And let's get into all the action. So, here we go. Yesterday was the day. It was a big transfer of power. Biden stepped out, was left his way to a nice peaceful retirement, and the new administration stepped in. Trump was sworn in to the presidency, and here we go. It was what a start. I mean, it just was a day of craziness. And let me just say, not only do we have a major day just of the inauguration, yesterday alone was a political, legislative, and executive deluge of information and everything. So before Biden left, he pushed through several pardons and also pardons for the members of the January 6th committee and finished out a few other things that he wanted to do. And as soon as Trump was sworn in, boom, things immediately started happening. A lot of the promises that he said he was going to take action on his campaign, he did. So he was sworn in, and then he went to the luncheon. As soon as he finished the luncheon, he immediately went to the Capital One Arena. That's where the Wizards, the Capitals, the Mystics, they all play, right? Well, they ended up turning that into a viewing area for the spectators of the inauguration because the frigid temperatures it was just dangerous. So they moved everyone inside. The ceremony was moved to the Capitol for the inauguration. It was pretty cold and windy and nasty. So it was wise. And for safety reasons, I'm sure that was best for everyone. But as soon as he finished that luncheon, he was right over to the Capital One Arena, thanking his voters, fan base, because he's definitely got a fan base. He did a speech there, and right on the stage, immediately started signing some executive orders. Then over to the White House and more executive orders. So, I mean, it was just craziness. So yesterday there were pardons. There were executive orders. There was transfer of power. There was just so much happening. There was parties. It was a lot. It was a lot. If this administration has definitely said that they were going to be coming in as the disruptors and wanted to cause a little chaos, and mix it up, well, brace yourself. It is going to be a bumpy, fast, and furious 4 years. Because it's been 30 plus hours and it's been a lot. I'm sure legal minds are just scattering around trying to see what's passable, what's not passable, just trying to wrap their head around everything that's been happening. I mean, the stacks and stacks of folders for these executive orders that were on the desk and on the stage at the Capital One Arena. I mean, it's a lot. There's already been a little bit of pushback. What can he truly legally push through? So we'll see where that goes. Like I said, I'm sure legal minds are just scattering everywhere, trying to see what's actually he can legally push through. What can he actually change? I mean, some are pretty ironclad laws and amendments in the Constitution. So I mean, you need Congress. So it all looks great and talk is great, but let's see what action can really be pushed forward. And that is going to take time because, like I said, there were stacks and stacks and stacks of those folders with executive actions. But I mean, the pardons happened and he said he was going to do it. I didn't think he would do it within the first several hours. But he did. And the news in DC was kind of chaotic, where some of the people who are serving time for January 6th, there have been protests outside the jails for as long as some of these people went to jail. And there was a huge crowd that gathered last night because some of these pardons, some were released right away, some were released today. DC was a little bit of chaos yesterday. No matter how cold it was. People were out and very supportive of the new administration. It was I'm rarely speechless, but I'm a little speechless on this. It's like I said, it's a lot to take in. I'm still trying to process. But DC was wild yesterday. It was one thing you cannot deny. It was a moment in history. Like I said, love it, like it or not. That's where we are. And yesterday they went straight out of the gates and went hard. So there we are now with this new administration and with a lot of the changes and a lot of the orders. TikTok, where is TikTok going to go? Is it where we're going to have it? Is it going to be banned? Is it going to be back? So we did have 16 hours where TikTok went completely dark, right? The ban went through. Look, it went through Congress. It went to the Supreme Court. If TikTok wasn't sold to a new owner, then we could no longer have it here in the US because it was considered a security risk, right? Now Trump's backpedaling. He even stated in interviews it supported him well on his campaign. Therefore, he's okay with it now and he wants to push through it. Also, he had some nice supporters from TikTok that gave to his campaign. So that helped. Look, the ban's already gone through. We have a slight break. We have a pause to see if anything can change. But as of today, we have 75 days until the ban takes effect. We will lose TikTok. The panic happened. And I'm telling you, there was panic. There was panic. People were stressed. Younger generations were very stressed. They love their TikTok. They love their clips, their reels, you name it. They were having a difficult time with it. So if nothing happens in 75 days, I cannot imagine, the pandemonium that will go through these people. Like, look, there's other platforms we can use. We've got Instagram, we got Snapchat, we've got, you name it, there's tons. But people love their TikTok. So the future of TikTok still in limbo, but as of today, you can get on it for those who already have an account. From what I understand, if you tried to go sign up for a new account as a new user, from what I understand, you will have difficulties or you cannot do that at all. So for those who already have an account, you can access TikTok, but TikTok, the time is going. So TikTok. Now, let's get into some other stuff. Let's get back to LA. LA's still having a hard time. We still have some fires going in the Los Angeles area. Fortunately, the Santa Ana winds have given us a little break right now. Thank goodness. Still that time of year, it can go up, it can go down. Yet last week they did have a little bit more of an uptick in the winds out there, which was very concerning. It's just unimaginable. And as of now, about 14,000 structures have been completely destroyed. The last number that I could come across with the death toll, which is so sad, was about 27. But as people are able to start going back to their communities and back to their homes or what's left of the remains of their property, that death toll may rise because there's still people missing. So again, Los Angeles, our hearts and prayers go out to you. I mean, just the amount of time that it will take to rebuild, the money, it's the ripple effect from these fires will just be so long out and just so widespread. And California, oh my gosh, our heart goes out to. This is the worst wildfire ever in Southern California history. And I mean, it's still burning. It is still burning in certain areas, and they still do not know the causes of this fire. I've heard a lot of different things, and the investigations are still going. I've heard arson, fireworks, power lines. I've heard numerous things. They do not know yet. Like I said, the investigation is still ongoing. I hope they have some type of answer. Right now, I mean, people are upset. They're distraught. They're displaced. Their lives have been totally, totally destroyed. And then you hear the stories of price gouging. There's just not enough housing to fit the people that have been displaced. The bidding wars it's sad, it's chaos, and our heart goes out to you. I mean, these people have nothing. And to hear the stories about how insurance has dropped people, it's just awful, awful, awful. There is a large concert that is, and fundraiser charity event that is going to be taking place on January the 30th. It is called Fire Aid, and that will have a whole bunch of musicians coming together to help raise money for Southern California. I mean, just incredible artists like Gaga, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Billie Eilish. The names go, Stevie Wonder. The names just go on and on and on. I think right now there was like 20 some artists and bands that were playing, which is just amazing. So any money that they can raise to help Southern California get back on their feet, have help the community, the families, everything, people, pets, businesses, farm animals, agriculture, everything is affected, and it's going to take a long time. And so any way that they can help raise money to get for these families to help rebuild, restart their lives, in any way, great cause. I am so thankful for it, and I'll be watching. So let's get into some other stories here. We are down to the final four. Okay, who do we have in the final four for the playoffs in the NFL? We have the Eagles, the Commanders, the Chiefs, and the Bills. Final four. Who is going to be the remaining two? Who's going to be left going to the Super Bowl? It's exciting. It's exciting. I have a little bit of heartbreak. My beautiful, beautiful Ravens lost the other day. It was a great game. It was a great game. Heartbreak. It was heartbreak, but a great game. My hat goes off to you, Ravens, and I'm proud of you. And Commanders, I'm proud of you too. What a great season for you guys. New ownership, new coach. Awesome. Awesome. And I got to tell you, the Baltimore, D.C. metro area has just been so enthusiastic this last several weeks, because no matter what, this is like hometown spirit. You know, if it's Baltimore or D.C., doesn't matter. It's an hour away. We cheer each other on. Yes, it's a rivalry, but we still want to cheer each other on. So no matter what, D.C., Baltimore, I'm here for you. So go Commanders, go. But God, that was a heartbreaker. It was such a good game. Oh, such a good game. So final four, here we go. Place your bets. Place your bets. It's going to be a good one. Now, let's get a little bit into the entertainment world. I do not know if you were able to watch Saturday Night Live this past week. Dave Chappelle was the host, and God, he's so good. He is freaking amazing. I'm telling you, that man is so talented. He is such an artist. He is so gifted, talented, intelligent. He's such a smart man. He really is. And he's got it all in comedy. He gives you wisdom. He gives it with edge. He's sharp with the tongue, but he's so freaking funny. I love him. So his monologue was everything. It really is. He is so skilled. He is like the surgeon of skills amongst comedians. He is. He's a genius. And plus, I cannot say enough about the Duke Ellington School. So good. And that's where he went. I mean, it's awesome. His monologue, everything. He went into it all. He, gave a little toast to the new administration, went into just a little touch of politics. Yes, he talked about Diddy. Would he talk about Diddy? Did he talk about Diddy? Oh, he did. He did go Diddy. He did. He talked about the baby oil. He talked about the fires. And like, I think it was like a 5.5 minute monologue. It was great. It was great. He did his traditional smoking of the cigarette as he's doing his stand up. He was awesome. He was absolutely awesome. His skits were funny as can be. God, he's so good. I hope he has another Netflix special coming up soon because he's just so good. He needs to. I mean, it must take such a long time to prepare for that amount of time to be on stage. But God, I mean, if that's 5 minutes, I don't know how long that took him to prepare for that. But God, he nailed it. He was awesome. And the other skits, I mean, the one skit about the fires, how that was, oh God, it was so good. He touched all the major topics that most thought were just a little too hands off to discuss. He went right on in. And that's the sign of an excellent comedian, that even when it's too soon to make a joke about hardships, tragedy, sacrifice, a good comedian can make light of such times, and he does it. He does it well. He does it well. Oh God, does he? And if you are, Saturday Night's had a great season this season, and they also have, if you wanna go a little bit more and down memory lane of Saturday Night Live and some of the best clips, the best seasons, the best casts, and some of the best hosts and the ins and outs between the writers, the actors. They have a 4-part special on Peacock called SNL 50 Years Beyond Saturday Night. I got to see a few minutes. I watched a couple clips. It looks really good. It looks really good. I hope I get to have an opportunity to go back and watch it because it does look really funny. And just some of the skits that we love to talk about and that really kind of are timeless. Like, how did that skit even come about? Was that the original skit, or kind of did it go off course and did end up being something completely different, which made it so much better? Those are the stories I want to hear. I want to hear behind the scenes and to get the product that we see on the screen. So the 4-part series, Beyond Saturday Night, Peacock. And also on Peacock, please do not forget season 3 of The Traitors with Alan Cummings. I mean, so far, so good. The fighting, the cattiness has been there, the shift of loyalties, and spoiler alert, if you have not watched this past episode, spoiler alert, I'm going to talk about who was eliminated here. Was it Jeremy was the first one who was eliminated, didn't make it back to breakfast. Okay. We go on through the challenges and everybody's fighting. Who do you think is the traitor? They're all on their teams. They're on their cliques. Do you think it could be her? Do you think it could be him? Do you think it could be these 3? Could it be 4? So these are the questions everybody was trying to, get. Who is the traitor? Interesting that during the Shield, what is it? The elimination, the challenge. During the challenge to get the Shield and the money, Bob the drag queen says something completely unprovoked and just out of the blue. Like, all of us think that some of the traitors a new guy. Well, why would you say that? Right? So Rob from Survivor was immediately like, why on earth would you put that bullseye on me? Unnecessarily. Anybody can think what they want, but all eyes aren't on me. But now that you just said that comment, now they are. You just put a target on my back, and now all eyes are on me. And you didn't need to do that. We were supposed to be in a united front of these traitors, and now you just came for me. So, you're going to come for me? I'm going to come for you, because now I view you as a liability. And so he's like, I'm going to come for you. Now, is it a risk? It's a calculated risk, but I'm going to go for it, because now I can't trust you. And I know that you'll come against me. Now, if they were further in the game and there's only a few people left, I can understand that, but it's still pretty early on. So Rob decided that he's going to get his teams together and start. There were a few people that were already kind of a little bit suspicious of Rob the drag queen. But for the majority of the house, they were all like, absolutely not. There is no way that he's a traitor. He's definitely a faithful. He stuck his neck out on the line for us, and he's fought for the girls, and no way, not him. And slowly and calculating, he worked his way to the round table and got everyone aboard. It took time. And he even said, if I can't tip this scale now, I'm probably going to be eliminated myself, because it makes me look suspicious. And it did. And I got to tell you, it was a great, epic fight. It really was. And then when Bob the drag queen said, guys, I swear to God, I'm a faithful, I was like, that's a little too strong, because anytime somebody swears to God or swears on their kids' lives or anything like that, usually, I would say, in my head, this is my statistic and my percentage, in my head, I'm like, they're 95% guilty. That's what I think. I think they're guilty. So when he said that, I'm like, oh no, that was the final nail in your coffin, because remember in the last episode, somebody got the nail in the coffin. That's why Jeremy got eliminated. But Nikki, the eyes were on her. I still cannot believe Robin Dixon is still skating along. Why is Tom Sandoval still there? Anyone, why is he still there? Danielle, you've got a target on your back. You're a little too comfortable. And if Bob the drag queen didn't throw out all those shady clues for everybody else to get off his scent and get onto Rob's, he would still be there and you would probably be eliminated. And I'm telling you, I really think she would have been eliminated. She was getting a little too comfortable. Other people were onto her. Shocked that some of these Survivor and Big Brother people are not a little bit more savvy. Usually in previous seasons, like the Survivors, the Challenge, they're awesome players. This season, not some of them. I don't know about the other ones. Some of them are a little low, but not up to par as previous seasons. Personal opinion so far. But Bob, the drag queen, eliminated. They all found out he was a traitor, and they were pumped. They were absolutely pumped that they finally got a traitor out. But now, everybody's starting to kind of sniff out the other traitors. It's pretty obvious, because they know that they stuck up for him before. So now they're saying if they stuck up for him, and they're just rethinking and reevaluating everything that they've seen, heard, and were kind of a part of in the past, in the other challenges and the other days and stuff like that. And now they're just kind of, really looking at everything. But I think the girl, was it Caroline? The blonde girl from Survivor, who's a lot of the tattoos. She's throwing everyone off. She's a little kooky. But she's throwing everyone off and eliminating Jeremy. That really upset her. It really threw her for a loop, and she was very, uncomfortable with it. So I think she's starting to crack a bit, but I like it. She's still playing a good game. She's still under the radar. I think she might be one of the last ones there. She might. And so season 3 Traitors. I do love that roundtable when they just see, like, they go in with one person that they think they're going to try and eliminate and they change their mind. Tom Sandoval always sticks with his gut, and your gut is always wrong. Okay. Always wrong. Always wrong. Now there was if you were into movies, they released a clip, Fire and Ash, Avatar 3, Fire and Ash. I saw a couple of different versions of clips. If you're an Avatar fan, I don't really know who isn't. Avatar's pretty awesome. It's just, it is just sensory overload when you watch it. It really is, especially on the big screen. It looks really good. We've already had the land. We've already had the sea. And now the outside world's coming to take over the planet, and it's just killing it, and they're burning it up, and it's Fire and Ash. Looks really good. I don't know how long of a movie it's going to be. I'm sure it's probably equal time of the other movies, but it looks really good. Most of the same cast. Awesome. Trailers are out now. Clips are out if you want to go to YouTube. The release date is, as of now, is December 19th. Of this year, 2025. So Avatar 3, Fire and Ash, December 2025. And so if you have a chance, go see the clip. Looks good. Getting over to some other stories. There's one thing I kind of want to talk about before we get into some other television shows and, all of our good Bravo stuff that we talk about. And that is something and someone who is very dear to my heart and to our podcast. And that is our darling friend, Wendy Williams. Wendy Williams has been back in the news again. So last year, there was that mini documentary about what Wendy was going through, her struggle with addiction, and how she was having some cognitive decline and going through definitely some mental strains. And I want to be very delicate because I adore Wendy. And I have said this in the past, and I will say it again. Many years ago, I was in Children's Hospital for a very, very long time, and it was awful. And dark times, not a lot of sleep. And when you are in the hospital, there is only so much you can watch on your phone, and you have limited television channels to choose from on the hospital TV. And usually at Children's Hospital, it's so many animation and Disney channels. There's very limited adult stuff that you can watch. But Wendy Williams, she had her talk show then. And I started watching her when I was in that hospital at that time. And for a brief moment, when she was doing her Hot Topics, I forgot for a second all the stuff we were going through, and I just had some laughter. And that's what I needed at that time. So she gave me a little second of laughter, because laughter really is the best medicine. And I needed all I could get at that time. So I will always be grateful for Wendy in that moment when I needed her the most. I needed somebody to make me laugh. I wanted an auntie and somebody with some wisdom, with life experience and wisdom. And that was Wendy Williams, and she gave it to me when I needed it the most. And Wendy, girl, if you are listening, and I'm sure you're probably not, but if you are, I want you to know I love you, mama. You were my auntie when I needed it. You were my wisdom when I needed it. And you were my funny mama. And when I saw that documentary last year, it was so hard to watch. It was painful to watch. I hated to see you suffering. You were in such a dark place yourself. And if you did that to me when I was in a dark place, I cannot imagine how many people that you helped when they were in their dark times. And I'm sure, like I did, I wanted to reach through that TV and help you in some way and help you get right in the track. And during your dark times, we wanted to make you laugh or hug you or whatever you gave us. We wanted to give it back to you. And then to hear that you were under, a conservatorship, you have people that a team to take care of you. And if that's what you need, that's what you need. We want the best for you. But she has come out recently, several weeks ago. She showed up in New York City to attend her son's graduation, which, yay, Kevin. I feel like anybody who watched Wendy for years, she talked about her baby Kevin and the joy that you brought her. And I'm sure it was just such a thrilling moment for her to see you walk across that stage with success. That was awesome. What a moment for her to get out, to have her moment, to see her baby. But her fans saw her and they were thrilled to see her, and they went up, they greeted, they talked to her, they took pictures with her. And everyone who saw her and interacted with her said she looked good. She sounded clear. She was speaking well. There was a disconnect from what they saw and heard coming from Wendy and what has come out of the press about her condition. So there was that. She has then recently been, she has spoke with Charlemagne the God. And he has said that in other interviews, and I have to say, I watched a little bit of TMZ lately where they've talked about it and Harvey Levin's talked about it, where Charlemagne the God is saying when he spoke with Wendy, she sounded clear. She was speaking well. She sounded with it. She sounded so well that it was like she was ready to do a show any second, and just like she hadn't skipped a beat and hasn't missed a moment of time. She was just as crisp today as she was then. Okay. And in some of the clips and excerpts of what I have heard of that, she sounds pretty good. Then Harvey Levin was talking about this, and Harvey Levin, and I was watching this during the TMZ live thing, and where Harvey Levin's, look, Wendy, if you can get out, if you can talk to me, call me. And evidently, some way, somehow, she did. She spoke to Harvey, and this is what Harvey was just talking on TMZ. Their conversation was private and off the record. But what Harvey was saying is that when he was speaking with Wendy, she sounded clear. She was clear-headed. She did not sound like she was in this severe degree of cognitive decline that what was her caretakers had released in the press, or what they have said is where she stands in her state of mind, care, whatever. It's interesting. So, the thing is that Wendy is telling everyone, look, yes, I was suffering with substance addiction. No question. And what we could see in that docuseries that they had last year, it was tough. And she clearly was in the deep throes of addiction. She was. It was sad. We saw her assistant coming out. He's like, Wendy, did you just drink this bottle today? Like this morning? Like, it was extreme. It was extreme. But now that she's clean, she looks good. She sounds good. She sounds competent. Now, her caregivers has said, in her condition, she has good days, she has bad days. But, you know, the question is with Wendy, if she is doing okay, if she, or even if she is in the state is what they're saying she is in, why can she have no contact with anyone? Why can she not have an access to a phone? Why can she not have access to a computer or anything to have contact with the outside world? If they're worried about her finances, if we're not having control under her finances, being competent in that, or legal decisions, she has a team for that. So that's why can she not have contact with anyone? That's the main question. So, Wendy, you're back in the news. Wendy, you're saying it like you mean it. That's what you've always said you did. She's like, you say it, you mean it. I love you, Wendy. I want to know where this goes. We all want the best for you. No matter where you are in this, in your condition, whatever state you are in this condition, whatever degree, whatever it is, wherever you are in this condition, we want you to live your best life and be happy where you are with what you can. But if talking to people makes her happy and improves her condition, at least in her state of mind, what's wrong with that? Why can she not talk to the outside world? And that's kind of where the question is with Wendy. Why does she have access to no one? No one, loved ones, friends. She was stating in an interview that she wants to talk to her dad. Or why can't someone take her to the store? Like, couldn't she have a team of people, of nurses, security, want to take her to the store and get her dad a birthday gift? That was what she was saying in one of the interviews. She just wants to go to the store and get her dad a gift because she doesn't know if she's going to have another day with her dad. He's of a particular age, understandably so. These are the questions, and I don't know if we're going to have a free Wendy moment or movement. It's kind of trending out there, free Wendy, that we had free Britney. I don't really look this legal stuff. I don't, is it a conservatorship? Is it, it's a lot. I don't know the legal stuff here. This is just my personal opinion. All I can say is that Wendy, we love you. We're here for you. And, you've got a cheerleader behind you. That's all I can say. I want to see you happy. And even if you require, care in a facility, I want you to live the best life you can be. I want you to live. I don't want you to just exist, and that's the one thing about this kind of homes. You just don't want them to see them existing and just rotting away and a lazy boy. You want them to be happy and live and laugh and smile and all those things. You want to have a quality of life. And that's what I think everyone wants for Wendy. So there's a lot of questions. There's a lot of concern. But there's a lot kind of coming up in the news with Wendy, and that's where it is right now. What's going on with Wendy? What's happening with Wendy? But just know, Wendy, we love you and we want what is best for you, and we want you healthy and we want you to be happy. So there's that. So now let's move over to the shows that we love so much, and let's get into a little bit of the Bravo world. So Potomac. Not a lot is going on in Potomac, but it finally a little bit of some Karen stuff came out because everybody's worried about Karen, rightfully so. During this season, she had her whole court situation with her DUI. Her sentencing's right around the corner. So will she come back? Will she be serving time? Karen, I don't know. It's very uncertain, but she was her court case is coming up. We'll see what her sentence will be, but it did kind of come out in this season or this past week. The seasons have been very stressful for Karen. And, Giselle was saying how concerned she was because she's not eating and she's just losing all this weight. And the new girl's like, that's because she's on like Ozempic. I think she's on a GLP-1. I'm pretty sure she's on that. And she's like, I don't think so. I think it's stress, right? And she's like, no, Karen told me she was on it. So here they are all together at, Ashley's event. And she's like, Karen, I'm really concerned for you. And I'm concerned about your health. I think you're stressed out, understandably so. And here I am telling everybody that you're withering away. We got to help you out. And here I find out that you on a weight loss medication. And of course, she starts denying it and all this. And I think it's pretty obvious. What is it with the GLP-1s? And I hope I'm saying that correct. I'm obviously, I like food. I'm not on one. But it's everywhere and it's in your face. Every commercial. And everybody's talking about it. It's constantly in the news. And I know so many people that are on it. But like it changes you so fast, and everybody's so tiny and their heads look so big to these tiny bodies that just shrunk down to nothing like that. I don't see how you couldn't assume that she kind of wasn't on a GLP-1, but hey, what do I know? But she definitely looks like it. So that's really the only kind of thing that came out. Nothing came out. We heard about Gordon and Ray had a lunch, and Gordon's story does not, coincide with Mia's story. There's that. I'm sick of it. I don't want to hear any more of it. So I hope something comes up soon, Potomac. You're not happening. Beverly Hills, the pot's starting to stir a little bit, right? Everybody's got a beef with Kyle this season. And I've never really been a Kyle fan. I've always talked about it, but they're annoyed with Kyle. And, her tribe is gone. Renna is gone. Teddy, she's gone too. A lot of her support group, they are gone. And it's a much better show. So to see her sitting with like Sutton and Garcelle during these fights, that Kyle's got nobody else. And I love Sutton and Garcelle, but Kyle has not had the best relationship with either one of them. So to see her like needing to be under the wing of both of them for support, it's an interesting turn, is it not? But everybody's starting to go in, and then she revealed the text messages between her and PK. Is she sharing more with PK than she thought? And it kind of sounds like she is. And, at Chuck E. Cheese, she let it all out with the messages. Well, some, but they filled in the lines. And it's spreading around. And then it gets its way back to Bose. And Bose is like, oh, it's out. Like she's recovering from fibroid surgery. Okay. So she's just getting this information over what looks like a delicious Jamaican meal that Garcelle brought her. Oh my God, that looked so good. Flowers, beautiful. That meal was so good. And after surgery and after that anesthesia wears off and you kind of come out of that haze, you're starving. So flowers are gorgeous and they're beautiful, but that meal, that was really the top prize. And was it Rico, the Bose's assistant? Oh my God, I love that guy. And where do I find me one of him? He was great. And so the story gets back to Bose that the texts have come out. She's admitted that she's talked with PK. But you start to see a little bit more of next week's episode where they start dabbling in to the text, and they're having a little spa party at Bose's house, and they ask Kyle to pull out the text and what does that mean? And she gets upset and you see her storming off. So Beverly Hills, it's getting there. Still, you need a long way to go, but you're getting there. Now, Salt Lake City, we just had the finale, and the finale was good. A little rushed. Anybody? Anyone feel it was rushed? It seemed very rushed to me. The fight, the whole Lisa thing was funny with the lunch, and then the fight at the lunch I thought was fun. I'm so sick of these ridiculous arguments and everybody going after Lisa. I wanted to touch quickly about the scene between Mary and Angie K. Because I'm sick of seeing everybody, the whole season, everybody's fighting for Lisa. I'm tired of Brittany, all that stuff. But there was a scene with Angie and Mary. I was bawling my eyes out. Like, this is such a sweet moment between girls. It was painful and beautiful and everything in between. So, you kept seeing previews where Mary was pissed at Angie K, and she's like, I'm done with you. You betrayed me. And you're like, oh my God, no. Please don't let it be about her son, about Mary's son who was just shipped off to rehab. Like, that is a personal matter that should not be touched. Well, thank God it was not. It was, she felt that she betrayed her when she ran off to, comfort Brittany after Brittany said something against Mary. And Angie got up to comfort Brittany, and Mary was like, don't comfort her. And I don't know if Angie did or didn't hear that, but Angie felt bad and went to comfort her. Even though she doesn't like Brittany, she did it anyway. And like that, Mary changed, and Mary was pissed. And she was like, I'm done with you. You betrayed me, and I have no room with you. And she's like, but Mary, we're friends. So she's like, no, we're not. She's like, but you told me that God connected us and he put us together by fate. And she's like, I could be wrong. And just how quick she was to dismiss was even shocking by Mary Cosby standards. And I mean, you just saw how this affected Angie. She was like, but Mary, I love you. You're my friend. You're my everything. You mean everything to me. And I can't believe it. And what's happened? And you just see both of them crying. They're just bawling. And so Mary explained to her, she was like, I feel abandoned. I have extreme abandonment issues that come from my dad, my mom, my family. And that doesn't go away. And that's always kind of been my major shield, that when I feel hurt or betrayed, I just cut people off and cut them out because that's my defense mechanism. And I thought Angie did that to me. In the moment I thought she did that to me, done. And it was crushing. And Angie was pleading, like, don't do this, Mary. I love you. You're my friend. And then you see Mary break down, and she was like, you're right. You are my friend, and I do love you. And she even said, she's like, I see that Angie really loves me, and she is that girlfriend that I need, and she is that friend that I need, and I do love her, and she's everything to me. And in this time when I need her the most, she's stepped up. And that was such a beautiful moment. And just these shows where it just goes crazy and haywire and friendships just break up all the time, to see that connection and then to work through it maturely. And I thought that was such a beautiful, beautiful ending. And then I just thought that it was so cute. She, when I love this so much. When Mary Cosby said, every time I talk with Angie on the phone and we go to hang up, I want to tell her I love her, but I didn't want to be the one to say it first. I started laughing so hard because that was so cute. It was such an adorable moment, and everybody at the table started laughing, and you're like, oh, that's really sweet. And I think everybody at that table recognize that there is something very special and true in that friendship. I really, really hope it stays. I was really, really happy to see such a joyful moment, because it just never ends that way on any of the shows, especially in a finale. Everybody's fighting and they blow up and they get ready for the reunion. So that was so lovely. Now, after you had that beautiful bonding moment between Mary and Angie, Then it goes right back to Whitney and Lisa. Lisa storms off. Meredith storms off. And then it just felt just like they threw all this stuff in at once. Just like they do in any finale, they kind of do the little clip with a little detail on the side of what's happening to that cast member of the show once the show is wrapped, and it's just quick. But it was boom, 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 boom. It was really quick and just kind of thrown in there with a little bit of music. I actually had to pause it to read it because it just flashed up so quickly. It just felt really disjointed. Now, they did show some previews for the reunion. The reunion looks interesting. The dresses look really great. But let's see how the reunion goes. I hope it's entertaining. I really, really hope that Mary and Angie stick through. I did think that Heather gave some really excellent words of wisdom. She really is, she's great at giving a speech. I'm the biggest fan of her this season, but I did like her speech at the end. That was a good tie-in and wrap up to the end of the season. But Salt Lake City, come on. I never really thought that Mary Cosby, who can be really dismissive and didn't really want to show up to events and didn't really like anyone the previous seasons, she was full on this season. She was a main character, her and Angie K. I mean, they were on the back burner for previous seasons. They were a full front this season. Mary gave us comedy. She gave us drama. She definitely brought on the tears in my eyes. She gave us friendship. She gave us sweetness. She gave us the quick tongue attitude that we all love from Mary Cosby, and she gave us fashion. Okay, I love it. And the new girl Bronwyn, I definitely think Bronwyn should come back and is coming back. I'd be shocked if she didn't. Brittany, bye, Brittany. Great job, Salt Lake City. Great job. Way to wrap it up for a season. So, 3-parter reunion that starts this week. Yeah. So bring it on, Bravo. I like it. So I think that's a little bit for the Bravo wrap up this week. There'll be a lot more to come down the pike. So let's see where we goes. A lot more politics, fun stories, entertainment, TV, you name it, we'll go there. Thank you so much for joining us today. It's been great having you with us. So please follow, like, and subscribe anywhere you get your feed, and we'll see you next time. Bye.